Wow. So it's crazy. I I just watched a movie, and it was gonna take a while till I did another review. Because I was just searching. I was like, okay, which one should I do, right? And yeah, so I picked a movie, and basically something I've never done before on this channel, which is review anime, and it was an anime movie. I don't know if I might get into shows reviews later, maybe depending on how this does, right? So the movie I watched was Perfect Blue, and I had little to no details about the movie. I didn't know about the plot. I didn't even read, like I said, I didn't even read the description when I picked the movie. I had just heard about it, and maybe I've seen the the cover of Perfect Blue, and I think my friends seen it, but they never told me anything about the movie. So I kind of went into it blind, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. The movie ended up being so bizarre and so crazy, and I loved it. I love psychological things, things that twist your expectations and stuff. And I think the story itself is pretty straightforward. But man, it's so well done. The animation, I think, was beautiful. It was made in the 90s, I believe. But holy crap, it was so well done. I was just amazed, about the detail. The world just felt so alive. In the beginning, they do a concert, and it shows the crowd, being immersive. It feels so different compared to what nowadays, I don't know, man. The world just feels alive. It doesn't feel manufactured, it's all hand drawn, so the animation is it's so good. I really enjoyed the art style and everything. I like the old aesthetics of old anime. I like new anime. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome. But anyways, so yeah. So I guess I'm gonna do things a little differently. Now I'm gonna actually break down the movie. Tell you about the plot, what I think it's about, what I don't think it's about, because there are a lot of theories, because this movie can be kind of confusing sometimes. You're just what the heck is going on? Because main character Mimi, her mind just kind of, it's fractured, big times, just the things that happen to her. Yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna break it down, give you what I think is happening. Like I said, I think it is pretty straightforward, the story. But some people I don't want to say overanalyze. They give their theories about it, what they think it is. But I don't think that those theories are right. Like I said, I'll talk about what some of the things in a little bit. Let me just okay. So I mispronounced the name. It's Mima. Ah man, I'm so bad with pronunciation. I'm bad with regular English words, so Japanese names and stuff. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be covering this stuff, but I like watching this kind of stuff, so I'm just gonna do my best. So Mima is she's in a J-pop group, and she no longer wants to be an idol. Yeah, that's what they're called, idols, right? She no longer wants to be an idol, because fans, I don't know if it just becomes overwhelming for her, and she wants to pivot. And so her managers, they want her to go a different direction. They want her to become a actress. like, because they're like, oh, you know, it's more mature, right? She wants to kind of shred that little girl image, right? Like, not little girl, but you know, like that innocence. What not? You know, it's kind of hard to explain. But she wants to shred that image, and so they convinced her to take an acting job for a show, and so that's what Mima does, and she kind of is like, throughout the movie, she's like, oh man, I don't want to do this, but like, I want to. They've done everything for me, so I should do this for them. And so she takes the acting job, and as soon as the get-go of Mima taking that job, Rumi, her other manager, is against it. She's like telling her like, hey, like, no, like we should just keep her as a pop, you know, as an idol, and she enjoys it, and blah 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 this, and so it's like, it's weird because like throughout that you can kind of see like the manager's not really thinking of Mima and how she really feels. It's just like, oh, you know, this one wants her to become an actress, and this one wants her to still stay an idol, but you know, like things like that. And anyways, so Mima takes the acting job. She performs one last time with the group. And then so while she's taking this acting job, she starts getting like these weird, like kind of like threatening things. Like she gets a fax at her home, and it says traitor on there. And she also gets oh, I forgot to mention, she also, like, her manager Rumi tells her to check out this there's a website that's like pretending to be Mima, and like she knows like I'm talking about like heavy details of like a blog post that if Mima was writing herself, and it's like pretty alarming. She's just like, what the hell? Like, I didn't write any of this. It's at first she's like, oh, that's so cute, they know me, and then like it starts getting so weird to the point where like this person knows so much details about Mima, and it freaks her out. And I think really that's where the point where they like start, like Mima's mind starts fracturing, and like she starts getting like I said, like it fractures, like she's stressed out and she's going through so much, and her mental health starts dipping. And then not to mention all the craziness that starts happening, like when she's on set, I can't remember who it was, a director, writer, somebody on the film set, they open up an envelope, and the envelope just fucking explodes. And like at first you're like, holy shit, this guy's dead, but like he ends up like surviving. But it's like, it's pretty scary. And like it has a note, and it says like, next time it'll be the real thing. And so like she's getting like all these threatening things just because she started becoming an actress. And then we start getting into some heavy stuff. There's like there's a scene in there that's really just freaking brutal to watch. I don't want to say it because it does. It deals with SA, right? You know what SA is, but it's not real SA. In the show that Mima's in, they want to shoot a scene, like they fully show the scene of an SA. Like it's not real SA in the movie, but like, oh my god, it is freaking terrible. Like Mima's acting her butt off, she's screaming, crying, and it was heartbreaking to watch because you're rooting for Mima. I root for Mima. I like Mima. She's awesome. And man, it was really, really, really hard to watch, to stomach. And it was really sad because then Rumi leaves in the middle of it, and she's just crying, and I felt like crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. And you know, Mima goes home and she's crying her eyes out, and she says she hates it and stuff like that. But she's a real professional, and she wants to shred, like I said, she wants to shred that image, right, of being an idol. And transform into an actress. And that's what she does. She does that scene, and then she starts getting more threatening posts on that website, the one that's like pretending to be her, and she's like saying like, oh, that's the fake Mima, I'm the real Mima, like help me get rid of that imposter and stuff like that. And then from there, like, Mima starts like seeing a fictional version of herself as like a pop idol, like an idol version of herself, and like she's just like kind of talking trash to her, and like she's like floating around, and like I think that's when, like, oh man, it gets pretty nuts. Me talking about it, I can't do it justice of what this movie is. Like, I would just go watch it yourself. I'm doing the best I can to explain it, but I'm terrible at this stuff. But man, yeah. So she ends up from that point, she starts seeing that idol a lot more, and like the threatening, like she's getting a lot of that, and then all of a sudden, like people from the movie, like, I would say the director, screenwriter, and a photographer who took pictures of her, like, very, like, sultry, is that? Very sultry pictures of her, like she was modeling for him. Yeah, all three of those, the director, screenwriter, and photographer, they all die. They get murdered. And like they get their eye just gouged out. I'm not sure what that symbolizes, but they like they all kind of die in the same manner of like their eyes gouged out. And some murders are like, I believe, like off screen. Some were like pretty freaking brutal. Like I think the director one, I can't remember if it was. And also I forgot to mention, throughout the movie, she's kind of being, remember the one I told you riding the block? Like, it's obviously it's not Mima that's writing it, and it kind of shows you throughout the movie that it's this it's a stalker, this guy with like long hair. He looks really fucking creepy, dude. Like, they did a really good job with his design, I feel like, because he emasculates that so well. His voice actor, I couldn't really. I watched the Japanese version. I didn't watch English dub, just Japanese. And man, everyone did a great job. But yeah, so I'm gonna just call him the Stalker because I don't know if they even gave him a name. But like he pretty much is there from like the beginning of the movie when Mima's performing on stage her final concert. Like he's just there, like just creepy, just being there. And he's just obsessed with her. I would say he's more obsessed with the idol version of herself. Like, he doesn't really give a crap about the actual Mima. He just fantasizes about the innocent pop idol Mima, And so he's obsessed with her, and he kind of, we're getting to this whole section spoilers, right? That he's been getting like emails basically saying like that Mima you see as an actress is an imposter. We need to get rid of her. That's why he's sending her all these threatening things, and he's making that website and stuff. Is because he's getting fed this, and so they have a confrontation. And Mima is like, at this point, Mima is like so confused about what's happening. Like, she starts just losing like sense of time, and like she's like, she'll be somewhere else. She'll be like on set, and next thing you know, she's in bed. She's just like, she wakes up, she's so confused. She's like, what the hell? And then like her manager, Rumi, Rumi, she would come and she'd be like, hey, she's like, are you okay? She's like, I haven't seen you in a while. And she's like, she said that the first day, and then like it almost repeats, right? Like if it's the same scene, but then her manager Rumi is like, what do you mean? I just came by yesterday. And then Mima is so like, she's like, what the fuck? Like I said, she starts slowly just breaking down, and it's really sad to see. It's really crazy because at the point you're just like, oh my gosh, is Mima like the actual killer? Is she crazy? You know, is she going off the rails? But no, it's just showing her like how stressed out this is causing her, and just everything. Like, she was already stressed out in the beginning, like when she was when she quit being an idol and she became an actress. She was already stressed out. So all this crap, all the murders and shit, like it's taking a very heavy toll on her. And so she's confused if things are even real or not. And she gets a confrontation with the stalker, and she actually kills the stalker in a crazy battle. So she kills the stalker, and Rumi finds her. I think she finds her in a hallway, and Mima at this point's all torn up because the stalker did so much damage to her. And Rumi's like, oh, what happened? Come on, come here. And that's when the twist comes in, and many people have theories about this. They say that no, they actually said that Mima is the one who's been doing the killings. Like, her mind was just fractured, and all this was just in her head and stuff, which is not true. I actually believe that the story is straightforward, that Mima is actually not crazy. Like, she's just having a mental, she is having a mental breakdown, but not enough for her to go crazy and killing people and then blame the murders on somebody else. Like, I fully believe that Rumi was the person, and I was right. So yeah, pretty much it is. At the end, it's confirmed that Rumi was the one that was. She's jealous of Mima. She was a former idol herself, and so like I said, she didn't want. She wasn't supportive of Mima becoming an actress. She wanted to stay an idol, and Rumi is furious about this, and so like they end up like. In the end, it's like a fucking chase sequence, and it's nuts. Like, it's like a dream like sequence, and like you see Rumi kind of like, she transforms into the idol version of Mima, and she's like bouncing around. Like in the movie, like the idol version is like bouncing around, like floating, and it's terrifying. And like in the reflection, like she looks like in the reflection, you see it's Rumi. It's crazy. So they end up having this big chase down, and Rumi's yelling at Mima, saying like, I'm the real Mima and stuff. And Mima's like, no, you're Jai, I'm Mima, blah blah blah. And they get into a big fight, and in the end, Rumi like runs out into she goes to the middle of the street, and she's about to get hit by a car, but Mima ends up saving her. And so the end pretty much ends with Rumi is in a hospital, like a mental hospital, and Mima's like visiting her, giving her flowers and stuff. And she's happy now. She's happy where she's at, and she's gonna move on with her life. So man, it's a good one. I honestly, like I said, I can't give you a breakdown. I'm not really that kind of channel. I was just trying something new, maybe just explaining the plot as best as I could. But man, Perfect Blue, amazing movie, psychological horror for sure. I'm sure a lot of movies did get inspiration from this because it's awesome, and I'm just really happy that it didn't go down the route of like that Mima was just having a breakdown and she was actually the killer. Like, I don't I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff. Like, I don't like Black Swan, right? Like, I didn't like the ending of that. Like, and it's, nothing wrong if you like that stuff. It's great writing. But I don't like that. Like, it's like, oh, it was all in her head and blah, 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 this and that. No, that stuff was happening to Mima. And she was able to get through it. And now she has her whole life ahead of her. And it was a good ending. I mean, maybe not many people like the ending. I don't know. Your thoughts and concerns. But I enjoyed Perfect Blue. Not a perfect movie, but it was a good one. And yeah. If I had to rate the movie, it's a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it.